And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Man, wild stuff just happens in live radio. I try to describe it to people sometimes, and they just don't get the aspect that everything is really public and that tape now lasts forever.
Yeah.
And so when stuff happens, it's hugely embarrassing. It's very public, and then it never dies. And
yeah.
It's just really,
it's in ink.
It is really a funny business in that way, because there's just a lot that can go wrong. And there used to be a lot more that could go wrong. Not to get off on a crazy tangent, but hello everybody. How's it going? Jake and Ben.
Happy Tuesday.
Did you ever do high school football?
Not radio.
In your illustrious career?
No, I did some TV, but never writing.
I did some high school football when I was really like Christian's age in the business, and we used to have a tie line. I mean, not to get too deep into the equipment, but then suffice to say, it's come a long way. But the tie line, used to be used to require, dedicated analog phone line.
Yes.
Not a digital phone line. Not Ethernet port,
so
a dedicated analog phone line.
Like your old first internet. Like first internet, when it was a phone line.
Right.
And yes, it allows you to connect to the internet, and then you can have radio, live radio.
Actually, it did a remarkable job providing clear radio quality content when it worked correctly. Mm-hmm. The problem is that lots could go wrong. I can't tell you how many issues that the tie line created in my radio career. But our old buddy Ben Russell, Ben,
of course.
Our old engineer, and he still does work with the Jazz broadcast. So Ben was on-site engineer. That was his job, and he was extremely good at it. But have you ever seen somebody try to string several hundred feet of phone cord from the Skyline pool building into the Skyline press conference over like the crowd and over like a parking lot in order to get access to and then add that to it was also during a potential lightning storm. It's like, wow, what are we doing? What are we doing? So anyway, radio's funny. I've got a zillion funny stories, but I feel like I tell them over and over again and people get tired of them. That's like my wife is tired of all of my stories.
She's heard your stories.
Not just my radio stories, but like all of my stories. And then it makes me self-conscious. It's like, oh, I've got a relevant story for this. And it's like, nah, I probably just should shut up and move on. What happened with the Jazz, Ben?
Yeah.
What happened with the Jazz yesterday, Ben? What are you writing about now? By the way, this is the time of the year that I do not envy your writing assignment.
It's a little more creative. And sometimes creative doesn't mean I'm using my brain to write something creative. It means I'm having to go find different things to write about.
Well, let me put it this way. I actually don't dislike this time in the sports calendar for radio. Because I think we can stretch our legs and we get a little more creative and you can actually have time to dig into depth. Mm-hmm. And I think oftentimes like headline what's happening radio isn't necessarily the most interesting radio. If you're covering a team on a daily basis, not having news, you can only dig so much. You know what I mean? And I could flap my gums for the next hour about nothing. When you write, the challenge of writing, and maybe, I don't know, you could talk about this, is like, you've got to say something. You know what I mean? You can't, it's not like my college history paper where I'm just trying to use as many words as possible
Get that 1,000-word limit.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that. You have to be to the point, and you have to be interesting, and you have to be, especially in the online world, like reliably consistent. You got to get it out. People expect it. Anyway, I would think that this would be a challenging time for a writer.
You do have to just be willing to write about things that maybe you otherwise wouldn't. Yesterday, for example, Matt Harpring's daughter is the #1 recruit in the country. She committed to UNC. That's an interesting story.
Seems like, man.
Now, I'm not.
She was a little kid just yesterday.
Correct,
That age is.
She's only a junior in high school, so she's still only 16 or 17 years old.
She was like a baby like yesterday.
Yeah.
I've got a funny Matt Harpring story.
You want to tell it?
We actually might have tape of it somewhere. But like we were interviewing him. Do you remember when Matt Harpring started growing out his hair and he had like a little bit longer
Bit of a shag, yeah.
Longer hair going? I asked him, it was like leading off an interview. I was like, man, I'm digging the flow of the hair. And I said, you look like a better looking Barry Gibb. And he goes, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I was like, the BG. All right.
Yeah.
How about Memo's pick and roll right now there, Matt?
I didn't.
Matt Harpring will not travel with the team and had his MRI revealed degeneration of a joint in his spine and a slightly bulging a disc in his back.
I thought that's the Matt Harpring story you were going to tell.
No.
I thought that was your Matt Harpring story.
That was when Matt Harpring was playing. That's how long ago that was. My story was from when he was the TV analyst.
Well, you were talking over it. Can I hear it again? You were talking over it.
Matt Harpring will not travel with the team and had his MRI revealed degeneration of a joint in his spine and a slightly bulging a disc in his back.
To be fair, it sounds really old. And it doesn't even sound like you.
I know.
It was on a timeline. It was on a timeline.
I was really young. And you know what? I'm so self-conscious about updates because I worked on updates so much because at the time that was your first
and it was
opportunity.
A staple. Every station did it.
We did it 3 times an hour.
Yep.
You had basically 2 minutes and updates. It was like the thing. I never thought I was any good at them. Never thought I was any good at them. I was criticized by my bosses at the time, harshly. Not to throw one boss under the bus. No, I'm not going to throw it. Well, one boss would, the mere ring of the phone would petrify me. Because he would call into the phone in the studio 3 times an hour. And I was such a basket case. Because I would finish an update and all of a sudden that phone would ring and I'd be like,
Where's done something wrong?
Where's the Ralph scream? That's how I would feel every time. So not only is that bit horribly embarrassing, but it also brings up all that anxiety I had about updates. That's why I made a stupid mistake like that in the first place.
Sure, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, the number of horrible, stupid mistakes I've made, that are not that petrifying, but bad mistakes, that are little that I remember forever.
You know what the egregious part of that Matt Harpring was? Is I was so panicked about it, I didn't have the forethought to dump it.
Yeah.
So it hit the air.
Right. You could have easily dumped it.
And I finished the update and I was like, oh, I wonder if anybody noticed. And then at the time, calling in was a thing. And you could see when the delay hit on the when it hit the airwaves because the phone lines just went
blink, blink, blink. Yeah.
Shout out to all the great listeners too who just wanted to call to point it out to me. That always.
Do you know what you just said? Yes, I do.
Always struck me as
he has a what?
He has a what?
Oh man.
Is Matt okay? His youngest son. Bobby, or I don't know if it's his youngest son, but he has a younger child than Kate, his daughter. Bobby is a freshman at this Marist school in Georgia, is already a top 30 recruit in the state, but is like a 6'1" kid, I'm sure. He'll get Matt's genes and grow up, and you'll see more Harprings coming down the line as far as high-level college basketball recruits.
Matt was a pretty overtly pro Georgia Tech fella. Mm-hmm. Think he's bent? His daughter's going to North Carolina?
I thought it was weird. It went to a different ACC school.
I'd like to think,
Especially because North Carolina is not a good women's basketball program.
yeah, I don't know much about it, honestly.
That they're for a reason.
Is-
you know all the other ones.
Is Georgia Tech good?
I don't think so, but
But you know what? Virginia Tech passed on Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So maybe she's
but
not,
she had offers.
But she's the number one recruit
I
in the
wrote about it
country.
yesterday. She has offers to UConn, UCLA, USC. I mean, every major school.
I mean, Chapel Hill's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And hopefully she's making decisions about, her happiness and that sort of thing and where she wants to go. But that's kind of strange. I thought, Matt's pretty heavy yellow
Yeah, for
jacket,
sure.
dude. Because didn't he went to, his story's super interesting, right? Because he went to Georgia Tech as a walk-on?
Did he?
Because he always wanted to go to Georgia Tech? I'd have to, he's told the story a bunch. I'm embarrassed I don't remember every detail. But yeah, he walked on and then he was the team's best player overnight. And the coach famously gave him a scholarship and it was a big moment for him. And then all of a sudden he's the ACC's all-time leading scorer or something crazy.
It says he's a 4-year starter, but that doesn't mean he didn't walk on and win a
No,
job.
that's what I'm saying. Is he walked
yeah.
on, the coach didn't want him, and he let him walk on, and then he was the team's best player
Best player.
overnight.
Yeah. You're right. According to my friend Google AI, Matt Harpring was a walk-on player.
Crazy, right? Great story.
Yeah, good for him.
Well,
No,
he was a football player, Ben. I don't know if you've heard that.
Matt was a real staple here for 2 decades. I mean, he started in 2002 here with the Jazz and then was a broadcaster until 2021. I know there was a little gap in between where he wasn't around the program, but he was a staple here, so interesting.
Yeah, this way it's interesting to see players and who they're adopted by after their careers when they've bounced around a little bit. Big T was always a Utah guy, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not a surprise to me that Thurl is here and a thriving member of our community. But Darren Williams is a Jazzman.
Yeah, he is. Matt was not the most affable person.
No, well, affable.
And I don't mean a bad guy by any means. He just wasn't that open. He was not that social. That was not his thing.
Okay, back to the Barry Gibb thing.
Okay.
Matt just didn't have a personality.
Yeah.
And that's not a crime. No. He's not, he's smart. If you talk to him off the air, which he was generous with his time a few times with me to chat, not in interview form. And he was pretty upbeat and nice.
No, not a bad guy by any means.
You know what I mean?
Compared to Thurl Bailey,
But-
who's Mr. Affability, who walks up the floor at the Delta Center, walks up the stands, and then does this loop and has time for everybody.
And has personality coming out his ears.
Yeah.
And charisma.
And is, by the way, I think a very good color analyst. I just think Thurl's really good at it.
Yeah, I agree. Big T's the best. Man.
Yeah.
I can't say enough nice things about that guy. He's awesome. But Matt just didn't have that. I mean, you hear in Hollywood, right? The it factor. What is the it factor? I kind of find that laughable because it's people who can make subjective decisions based on criteria that they set in their own brain. But it is a thing. Mm-hmm. It is charisma. And I mean, we could talk to Nate Dowdle, our boss, about it, who's over KSL Sports and on the TV side and stuff like that. Sam Farnsworth's face has way more charisma than my face ever will.
He does. He has a tool for a face, and I mean that in a good way, that allows him to convey what he needs to convey very effectively.
He's good at what he does for a variety of different reasons, but he's got the look that screams listen to me.
But you know what's interesting?
Because you like looking at me too.
Matt has a TV face, Matt Harpring.
But he
TV
didn't have
hair. He's very smart, as we talked about. He's a very intelligent person. But you're right. He doesn't have that it factor.
What Thurl does.
Yeah, he does. Thurl has it.
And not to compare
Thurl
generations.
also has the face and the voice and looks great on camera. And
total package.
is
But
very
he
smart.
does have personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love my guy, Alema Harrington, because I love his laugh so much. It's so infectious.
Yeah.
And you can hear him snicker at times on TV. And I get to really watch Alema and Mike more than I get to listen to him. But you can see, Alema's got charisma. You're I want to hang out with that guy. You know what I mean? There's something there's something to that. And that wasn't Matt's long suit. And even when he was nice, he sounded like he was kind of being mean.
Yeah. You're right. He had a little bit of that
And I'm fine
edge
with
in a weird way.
I like critique. I am fine with a color analyst expressing an opinion like, "Oh, that could have gone better," or "This is why this went wrong," or something along those lines. But even when Matt was like, "That was a good layup," it came off as, "Was he making fun of that guy?"
Yeah,
Was that a compliment? And that's not his fault. Do you know somebody with, can't use the actual phrase on the air, but resting...
Yeah, frustration face, yeah.
Resting grumpy face?
Yeah.
Like, they can't help it. I've known several people that you're like, how's it going? Doing okay?
Yeah.
Everything all right? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm just sitting here. My wife has a friend like that.
I think I might have it because one of the photogs that works Jazz games was like, one day he was like, "Are you okay? You always look frustrated." I'm like,
Well,
I'm just sitting and writing. Yeah, I'm fine.
I think it's mainly how you dress.
Okay, that might be.
It's a little dreary.
Okay.
I've mentioned it before.
You said I don't wear a lot of color. I've got black on today.
It screams sadness.
Okay.
But then again, I'm wearing gray today, so who am I to talk?
Yeah.
But shout out to the Mountain West Conference, because that's where I got this shirt when I did Media Day a couple of years ago. And it's like number 4 on my favorite shirts list.
Oh, okay.
It's really high up. It's great material. You can check it out on YouTube. Shout out to the Mountain West.
Conference is kind of, on life support.
I really love the handle Gangster Gloria, though.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Because she's playing her hand.
As well as she can.
Yeah, Craig
It might be a losing hand.
Craig, in hindsight, really handed her a chicken salad sandwich.
Yeah.
That the mayo had turned.
It was bad.
And she I don't think she was informed that the mayo. You know what, honestly, and not to get too diverted, and we can get to top 3 stories coming up next. I wonder if she didn't know the politics well enough when she took the job. And how everybody hated Boise State and Boise hated everybody, and there was this big tension. Anyway, ended up ruining the conference.
Uh-huh.
And all the state schools, interestingly enough, go to the Pac-12, a conference that traditionally
hated state schools,
particularly California state schools.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. But good times. All right. Top 3 stories of the day coming up next. Shout out to Matt Harpring's daughter. That's awesome.
Yeah,
good for
cool.
her. Hopefully she has a good experience there at North Carolina.
Or bounce around and get paid a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be the gig.
put that dough in your pocket.
It might be your chance to make money.
Stay tuned. More next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Win big every Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. Coming up tomorrow, you can win tickets to go see Chris Stapleton August 15th and 16th at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Don't miss Chris Stapleton's All-American Road Show coming to Utah for 2 very special nights. Get tickets now at livenation.com or listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day on Wednesday for your chance to win. Man, that's bad news you gave me during the break. I should keep up closer on current events.
Fire downtown is what we were talking about.
Fire on Main Street.
Yeah.
And a great part of Main Street. Yeah. That is a total bummer. Throughout your life, Ben, I'm sure the evolution of downtown has been mostly in the positive direction.
Oh, exclusively. Yeah.
And it always centered around that block to me. It was just kind of a staple. That stinks.
Yeah, big time.
That stinks. Hopefully everybody was okay. You were the one who read the article, but anyway,
Doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like anyone was hurt.
which truly is all that matters.
That's all that matters.
All right, sorry to bum everybody out, but that news bummed me out. That stinks. All right, top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, bit of a surprise coming from up on the hill, but Kyle Whittingham says they're not ready to commit to a workhorse running back.
Not yet. It's more by committee at this point, but again, it's still early. We've got 15 practices left, and we'll see how it continues to develop.
What he did say is they feel like they have two starters. He feels like they have two guys in Rogers and Parker that they feel like are legit 1A guys.
So this is not let's go ahead and play that clip too, as long as we're playing clips. Here's what talking about it.
The top two guys will be Wayshawn Parker and Corey Rogers, not necessarily in that order. They're interchangeable as the one. We're also, having some good production from Daniel Bray, Racing Guillory, a couple freshmen that really look like they have a lot of promise. And then, of course, Devin is like a running back there at times. And so he's adding to what we're doing. And then you got guys running the speed sweeps, the wide receivers that are giving us supplemental yardage as well.
All right, Ben, normally I will tell you, especially during camp, that I don't believe coaches when they say things like this, because you don't know when they're fueling a race or who they want to motivate, or they don't want to crown a player too early, or, et cetera, right? I 1,000% believe Kyle Whittingham, because this is how he handles picking running backs, and it's how he's done it going back for his entire career.
And there's one other thing that we know about this.
Well, he thinks he has a couple of guys.
Yeah, and he probably does.
Like, we're going to get into the game and see what happens.
And what's going to happen? One player's going to fumble, and they're going to immediately drop to number two. And then the other guy will be the guy, which is fine.
Which is kind of funny.
But that is Witt's thing.
If you think about some of the best running backs at Utah under Kyle Whittingham, none of them were selected by game one of the season that they broke out. You can go to Zach Moss. You can go to Devontae Booker. You can go back further to Darrell Mack in like 2007, if you remember that year, where he had Ray Stowers and Darrell Poston playing in front of Darrell Mack, and Darrell got the ball in like game 3 or something like that and still had 1,000 yards. Just really ran with it.
Tavion Thomas. Now, his was a fumbles issue early in the year, but then once he took over, again, he racked up the yards as well, but it was like game 4. Took a while.
So, I don't remember when John White IV got the job, because he was a JC transfer coming in when they really needed a running back. But this is kind of how he goes. He wants to see who gets it done in the game and who's got the extra juice when the lights are on, and that makes a difference. So I would expect that to remain true. I don't know, for a couple of weeks, maybe 2, 3.
Going into the season, that's going to be the case for sure.
He's had a year where nobody really grabbed it, and then they had to move a quarterback to running back. Jackson. What's his first name? Why am I spacing on it? Jaquindon Jackson, who I actually really liked when they moved to running back. Yeah. And then he couldn't stay healthy, and then they didn't really have somebody take the job. Mekhi Bernard really grabbed the job last year, but he'd been kind of on the periphery of it for the previous couple of years.
Sione Vaki, and that was out of need, but did a great job. Look, I'm not counting out he didn't mention him here at all. Like, seeing Nate Johnson break out as some type of weapon then used in the backfield almost exclusively, but a guy who was talking about some of those jet sweeps and options that they're going to have, I could see him being a player that ends up breaking out.
But for people out there who were like, well, why don't... I did this with BYU's quarterbacks yesterday, but why not just give Wayshawn Parker the job? He's the dude, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's ready to... I think he's going to make him go earn that he's the dude. We've seen guys that are Darrell Poston, who was supposed to be a transfer from USC.
Absolutely.
He got multiple chances and just didn't turn out to be great.
Kind of interesting, both these guys, 5'10", 205. Same body. This is not lightning and thunder. This is not speed guy and heavy guy. This is, these are two backs who are very similar. So we'll see. But if they're both strengths, that's a good thing for Utah.
And if they run it a lot, everybody's going to see a little action. That's how it works.
And Witt said also, Devin Dampier is basically a running back as well. So heavy running attack from the Utes.
What's next?
Number 2, report from Adam Schefter this morning. Jordan Love, torn ligament in his left thumb. He'll be having surgery today.
And this happened during game 1, right? This happened in their first appearance. Not expected to keep him out of any regular season play, certainly, and he may be back in the preseason.
Probably one of those things that's going to bug him, though, right?
You would think.
I don't know. I viewed that really as a tough break, that story, because he's like I think he's where Walker Kessler was last year. Maybe not quite as dire, but in one of those like, all right, you need to break it apart. You looked pretty good last year. You looked pretty good for a first-year starter the year before, but if you're going to be the next Packers guy, I think this year was kind of a step for him. No? If I'm reading that wrong, tell me. But to have a thumb injury in particular, I'd almost rather have like an ankle or something.
It is his left hand. It's not his right hand. It's not his throwing hand.
Oh, okay.
So that's a much big difference.
Oh,
that's a much bigger difference.
That is a big difference. Apologies. I didn't see that.
No, that doesn't necessarily change a whole lot, which is, why you could get him back. And he can have a club if he had to. I mean, it's not ideal, but if he had to play that way.
That's much less significant.
But I think you're totally right about diagnosing his season.
Yeah.
Because you look at the who's who of quarterbacks right now in the NFL, and we know who they are, and it's Mahomes, and it's Allen, and it's Burrow, and some of the names that are broken out. The question for Jordan Love is he closer to that group, or is he closer to the other group of guys that's just kind of okay?
Is he in the Justin Herbert conversation, or is he in the, I don't know, what's a Kyler Murray conversation?
Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kyler Murray's a good one. Kyler Murray's like Tua Tagovailoa. Like, at their best, they're really good players.
Too good to cut, but might not be taking you anywhere.
Baker Mayfield might not be the guy. Really good. Solid. You're comfortable with, but you're always kind of wondering if there's another person.
God, I like Baker's second chapter
so
much more than I liked his first.
Yeah, of course.
He was so obnoxious. I was thinking about this when David James was talking about Ole Miss being ranked in the top 25 for the preseason AP poll. I root for that guy. I can't help it. I love his second act, and I could not stand his first act. Like the Raiders and then leaving, and Tennessee and then leaving, and then USC and flaming out badly, and went through some real personal life stuff.
Yeah.
Rehabbed his career by kissing Nick Saban's backside.
You're talking about Lane Kiffin now. You're no longer talking about Baker Mayfield.
No, I'm talking about Lane Kiffin. I'm sorry. I'm on the Lane train.
Yeah, I was lost.
Well, really, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get lost in my own head. I switched to Lane Kiffin. People I like their second acts.
Yeah.
Because I like Baker's second half. And I really like Lane's because he's now hilarious and he's like brought an honesty to the college world that I find refreshing.
Humbled himself.
Really humbled himself.
As did Baker.
And makes jokes about what he had to do working for Nick Saban and getting yelled at and all that stuff. And he takes shots at Paul Feinbaum, who is somebody that is begging for people to take shots at. Anyway, second act, Baker Mayfield. There I am.
And we will see where the Packers go. Packers should be...
They should be good.
Conceivably pretty good. They are in a very difficult conference, which again is funny. That just did not used to be the case year in and year out. But
they got 2 easy ones over the Bears.
They got 2 easy ones over the Bears. The Vikings are maybe the biggest swing team in all of the NFL right now.
They don't have a guy at quarterback.
I don't think so, unless McCarthy actually can play.
No, he stinks.
That kind of seems to be the reports, is that like guys are being really nice to him in practice, but he's not a very good player.
No, he stinks.
And we'll see if Darnold's in Seattle now, right?
Yep.
See how Darnold looks. I'll be curious. He obviously had such a great year to start the year and close the year very poorly, but had a great beginning to the season with the Vikings. Justin Jefferson's going to miss the first 3 games, right, because he's been suspended. So they're a little bit of a mess. Jordan Addison, not Justin Jefferson, excuse me, the other wide
Don't get us sued, Ben.
Jordan Addison for drugs, some kind of drug. DUI, the ultimate drug. We don't know. For alcohol, do we know?
Yeah, they found him like asleep in his car.
Never a good look.
Not a good look. Pull over and sleep if you're tired. Don't fall asleep
like at
in the
intersection.
drive-thru.
No.
Who was the guy who fell asleep in the drive-thru? Somebody who fell asleep like in a fast food drive-thru and like, I think you're drunk. Maybe.
I think you've had enough.
So Lions should be good. It should be Lions or Packers. I'll be curious. Can the Lions keep up this level of play? Should be healthier this year.
How are the Donks looking, Christian? I'm sure we'll have a guest on soon.
Update.
The first preseason game, actually, their starters didn't look great. So that was a little worrying, but I'm sure they'll be fine.
How many Broncos are you going to have on your fantasy team? Or are you the guy who won't draft Broncos?
Well, they've been bad the last several years, so I've tried to avoid them. But this year, it's going to be hard not to load up.
What round will you take Bo Nix? Like 2?
I was talking to my wife. I said, do you think I can, because she's in my league that I do every year.
Oh.
I asked her, I said, do you think I can get Bo Nix in the first round?
You can get Jarrett Stidham in the second.
Right.
Load up. Is it a 2 QB league? Just
I might make it just so I can get both of them. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot how much Ben hates Bo Nix too. Old throw picks.
Throw picks.
Old throw picks. Stinks. You know, that was a really funny storyline for you last year because you were just bagging on him, and then he had like a bad first game.
Well, his first 2 games, he was unplayable.
He was just terrible.
He couldn't throw the ball 15 yards without it getting taken away.
Ben is just on the radio every day. Throw picks. You're just rubbing it in Christian's face.
Loving Caleb
And then
Williams.
the guy just goes on a streak.
A tear.
Rookie of the year, right?
Was he offensive rookie
Was
of
he?
the year?
I thought he was. He should have been.
No. I think it was Neighbors, I think, from Jacksonville. Or maybe the tight end from the Raiders. I can't remember.
Anyway, kind of one of those where Ben was looking right there for a minute and then
It
was
was Jaden Daniels.
Oh,
Rookie of the
duh.
year,
okay. Yeah. That makes sense. The commie guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 3. BYU heading to Miami in November at the ESPN Invitational.
Thanksgiving. So if you're looking to have a warm Thanksgiving, BYU is going to be taking on the Hurricanes Miami in the first round of the ESPN Invitational per John Rothstein. And then if they win, it's actually they'll play either Georgetown or Dayton.
Are the Canes any good?
No, they're generally not very good at basketball.
No, that's not true. They've had their moments.
They've had a couple of moments.
What's his name? The old crotchety guy that was there for a long time was pretty good. Who just left, right?
The coach?
Larinaga?
Yes.
He was pretty good. I don't know who they replaced him with, though. But these intriguing tournaments
Jai Lucas.
I mean, this is how you position yourself for the NCAA tournament when they're, selecting teams and how you get the benefit of the doubt for seeds. You go play in these big tournaments and you play against big opponents who hopefully will continue to be good throughout the college basketball season. And even if you lose, all of a sudden you have, some evidence to put forth in front of the selection committee that hopefully gets you bumped up a couple of seeds. So BYU's non-conference is awesome this year. It's really interesting.
Yep. I think there's a chance that A.J. DiBonsa is the best highlight reel player in all of college basketball next year. I expect that to be the case.
The Zion, if you will.
Yeah. Not quite to that level, but, he's done the double under the leg dunk, under both legs in a high school game. I don't think he will do that in college, but he gets a breakaway. He's got as much athleticism as anybody in the draft next year.
Is my guy Quinn going to have to get out there and say, teach me how to DiBonsa?
Which Quinn?
The Teach Me How to Jimmer. We talked about it just
that
yesterday.
Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah, who wrote the song.
Who wrote the song.
Sure. I would hope he'd come up with I hope he would just replay an old classic. Do something different.
Oh, he'd mix it up. I mean, come on, you got to mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
You got to have a little take from the old video, though. But no, it'd be really cool if BYU were the center of the college basketball universe. That'd be great. I do fear that puts a little too much pressure on the situation. But if you look at the biggest recruit in the country and combine it with a team laden with experienced upperclassmen that have been there and done that, that's the recipe for success. That's what coaches are trying to do in college basketball these days. Get old, stay old, and then if you can get a stud, go for it.
Yeah. BYU should have top 50, top 60 players in college basketball next year with Saunders, AJ, and then we'll see if Robert Wright.
I wonder if Ken Palm's going to get an apartment down in Provo.
Where does he live now? He's not that far.
Yeah, but he's going to be down in Provo a lot.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Can be a bit of a drive if you get the wrong hour.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson
1, 2, 3, move it.
on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, happy Tuesday to everybody out there. Ben, we haven't had any hammering really during the show. We had this
we could
bit.
hear it in the.
We had this bit.
Room.
You could hear it in here during DJ and PK. It was crazy. Hammering, drilling, all that. We had it all set up to do a bit with your guy Larry O'Donnell, who once freaked out over some sort of construction being done next to his studio. And it's always
Stop the hammering.
And it is always funny to see famous TV people freak out. And it's kind of unfair that footage gets released, but it is entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, our Casey Kasem yelling at everybody is hilarious. Chris Berman yelling at everybody is funny. Have you heard that one?
I don't know if I've heard Berman freaking out.
Berman has a couple. He's got one where he's freaking out, but he also has one where he's like talking about how he goes to Canada to buy drugs.
Is the desire or willingness to freak out like that a result of having the job?
Like that?
Or do you have to have that to become somebody who has those jobs? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the chicken or the egg.
I would say you're always that person, but that behavior is not enabled until you get to a certain level. It's like when you unlock something in a video game. Like if Larry was working the control room, he's still a maniac, but he cannot behave that way.
Okay, you're right. He's not important enough to do that. Alec Baldwin has always been Alec Baldwin. Mel Gibson has always been Mel Gibson. These guys who love to yell when they get liquored up or whatever they do. But they've always been that person. But now that they're famous enough, they feel like they can do it.
We had, and I certainly won't use any names. We had a part-time producer, like pretty entry level.
Christian Esparza. He's not entry level. You're not entry level anymore.
And he was here for a couple of years.
Okay.
So anyone that he perceived as further up the chain.
Adrian Leiser.
No, it wasn't Adrian. He would behave one way. And then anyone perceived, like new hirees later after him, he would act very different.
Yeah, the authority aspect he loved.
Very different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Larry's a psycho. But you can't behave like that until you get to...
Until you've climbed the ladder.
Right.
So you have enough people to look down on.
Right. And you can just scream at people and they're going to take it, right?
Yeah.
Like Ellen didn't start off screaming at people.
Good point.
You know what I mean? She started off as like a humble comedian on the road. You know, I'm sure the Keith Stubbs of the world will tell you she's a lovely person because he met her way back when or whatever. Yeah. But I'm sure if you were operating the grip on the Ellen show in 2019, you probably...
Dance! You're going to dance! You're going to dance with the rest of us. Whoa, Ellen.
You probably met a different person. I don't think she evolved. I think she was always the...
You're right. She unlocked something. She didn't evolve. She unlocked.
Yeah. She passed level 8 or whatever.
That's a good observation.
Oh, we have a candidate for Bozo of the Week?
That's a good one. We need one.
A Christian drops in.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could do it now. Sure. What are we?
We're talking Bozos.
Yeah, we're totally.
Did you guys
talking.
hear
We're talking
about
Ellen.
Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer?
No.
So this is from 2022. You guys have Venmo.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how you can see like public transactions, like your friends on Venmo, you can see their transactions. So there's a screenshot going around. John Mateer paid somebody in 2022, and the description says sports gambling, and then in parentheses, UCLA versus USC. So either this guy is really funny or is really stupid. Either that's a really funny joke, and that's obviously not what he was actually paying for, or he's dumb enough to actually label it.
Okay, so let me say this.
Okay.
I am somebody who's, now all of my Venmo, you can make them private, which what type of a psychopath does not have their Venmo on private? Why would you have your Venmo on public? I don't understand. I can get on my Venmo right now and look at all the transactions my friends have made.
But it hasn't always been that way. We're talking about 2022.
I bet in 2022 you could have it private.
It's always been, at least, definitely for 2022.
Because I can go back and I can see what all my friends are buying, and it's like usually they're just like Venmoing somebody for food, but there is weird stuff. I'm like, oh, you guys, like I know which relationships or my friends who are in relationships like don't have a joint bank account and they like Venmo each other the money for the month, which I think is whatever. It's just like, but it gives me an opportunity to judge you. But if you were to go back through my transactions. So like my fiance, if she buys groceries, I'll Venmo her or whatever. I will put in something obscure or stupid or whatever we were talking about in the grocery store that isn't necessarily what
because
doesn't
it's funny.
say groceries.
Yeah. Or
right, it's a bit.
I've done it to buddies when I'm paying them for golf or something, and instead I say adult novelty items.
Whatever. Yeah, right. Tijuana. Whatever you went down for.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, I was prepared to think it was that until the UCLA versus USC.
Yeah, in parentheses, the
I
game.
was prepared to be like, okay, this is really funny. He's just throwing it out there, and an embarrassing thing for everybody to laugh at. But to get to I think this may be dim-witted bozo behavior.
And I'm sure because there's dates on all of this stuff, you could just go back and see that sure enough, who was it, USC, UCLA? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and
you could go back and find they played that weekend, absolutely.
They did play, and USC won 48-45. And it was that weekend.
I think we got our guy sports gambling.
So the Venmo transaction was November 20th, 2022. The game was November 19th, 2022.
Oh, so he was paying up.
Yeah.
He lost a bet. Sports gambling.
Well, of course he lost a bet. That's why he's paying somebody.
Well, you maybe Venmo early on to place the bet.
Okay.
So is he the...
But he wasn't in college at the time.
Is he the shark? Well, he's 21 now, so he was 19 at that point. He's probably in
transferred from Washington State. This is the guy, he was actually in talks to come to Utah before they landed Beck and Dampier. They were going after Washington State's
right,
OC
this kid was a huge recruit.
Mateer, yeah.
That's right, he was a huge recruit.
Well, was he in college in 2022? Because I think you can make a friendly wager with your friend, right, and not get the boot.
Trying to figure out if he's a junior.
Depending on what state
he
you're in.
redshirted in 2022.
So he was in college.
Oh, okay, well.
In the conference.
Okay,
right?
well.
In Pac-12 play. That's getting harder to swallow.
Anyway, Oklahoma is aware, and they are investigating it.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Sports gambling. Detailed list.
No.
Be careful keeping a detailed list of anything.
Here's what they're going to do. They're going to find the bozo on the other end of that transaction and say, you buttoned it up. This was about dinner or something. And he was making a joke.
Yeah. Right. Find anything else you were doing on your Instagram page, share it with this photo, and say it was a joke.
Now, what they should do is cut him immediately, because not only does he have maybe is compromised in that way, but also he's so dumb. There's no way he's good, right? I guess we've seen dumb quarterbacks be really good, especially at the college level, but that is so dumb.
It's a certain level of...
I mean, that's not taking a picture of the slip when you make the bet.
Sure, tweeting it out.
And sending that out. I mean, that would be true.
Yeah. Hope Caleb has it tonight.
That's pretty dim, though.
Delete all your old texts. Burn your journals. Delete your Facebook page from when you were 8 years old. You should not have any history that you ever existed. That's the more and more I've lived, the more I realize any evidence that you were ever alive is probably a bad sign.
Do you, I could tell you a pretty wild story, but I met somebody who's off the grid, like born.
Yeah, you've told me about your off the grid guy.
Yeah. I don't think you want that. I don't think you want to live like that.
Like that?
No, it's not for you, especially not for you.
Yeah.
You don't like firearms enough for that really.
Correct. Yeah.
For that really to be a lifestyle for you. You don't show up to work armed to the teeth. At least I don't think you do. Christian probably does.
Keep everyone guessing.
I did go back and scrub through my Facebook photos after yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Go look back and see.
There were some pretty embarrassing pictures on there.
Yeah.
You've had it since you were 8.
Yeah, you were a little kid.
8. So what do you think? This is true dim behavior, or do you think this was a joke, Christian? What do you think is the younger generation who's
it's
up to
hard
date on these things?
like you guys were saying, like true people that know how to do this on Venmo, the description, they'll put like a slice of pizza or like the gas.
Just say
emoji.
thank you.
Yeah, or like thanks.
Yeah.
So like how dumb can you really be? But it can't be a coincidence that the game was played the day before. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Pretty suspect.
Yeah. Mateer.
But are you really that dumb? And nobody says sports gambling, by the way, either. So that's the part that's kind of throwing me off.
My friend Kyle Gunther gave me a great breakdown. There's a huge difference between football smart and human smart. It's a real thing. There can be guys who are brilliant on the field who couldn't put one foot in front of the other off it.
Okay, here's my theory, maybe. Because this is something about social media and the snap talks that I just don't understand. People think that, like, others need to know about it. Need to know about this. You know what I mean? Like, everyone needs to know why I'm paying this guy. It's so important that everybody needs
Venmo
to
is
know.
particularly weird because it's like you wouldn't tweet out a screenshot of your bank statement. Right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you didn't, and Venmo doesn't include how much money was spent. It doesn't tell you how big the transaction was, but a public viewing of how you're spending your money is insane. You don't let anyone look at your 401k or your stock holdings, unless that's your business and you're showing off your wins, but like, you don't do that as a standard thing. For that to be just naturally public information, I think is crazy. But it is one of the best ways to stalk people.
It's got to be bozo behavior because
Absolutely.
either you're dumb enough to label it that and it be true, or you don't have enough awareness to know that you're a college athlete and that's not something you should joke about.
And if you're a freshman, you have recently gone through the training that they do with every college athlete, and the FBI saying the one thing you'd never get to do is bet on sports. That's it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
They send people to I'm sure they do it over Zoom now, or you take a little course online, but yeah, you go through it.
Did you see Michael Porter Jr. on the Snap Talk yesterday talking about his brother?
I didn't see him talking about his brother.
He talked about his brother,
Talking about his own vices.
and then he talked about himself. Yeah, he said, my brother has the vice of gambling.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've never had that impulse. My vice is women. And I was like, wow, bold.
High five.
Bold. Hey, honestly, I respected that. That's fine.
Be candid. That's fine.
Get the word out there.
Yeah.
Tiger had the same vice.
Yep. I don't know if Michael Porter Jr. is to that level, but maybe. I wouldn't put it past anyone.
NBA player?
Yeah, right. 30 cities, at least 30 women.
I mean, somebody that size too, like you walk into any bar, club, restaurant, whatever you want to talk about, and everyone in the room automatically assumes you're an NBA player. You don't even need to tell people.
Right. He's 6'10". He's also a good-looking guy. Yeah.
He steps in the room and everybody's like,
yeah,
wow, there's an NBA player.
Yeah.
Saw Jakob Pertl at a club dancing once.
Not a good-looking guy.
No, but like it was really hilarious to stand like on the edge of, this is during the like the that kind of thing. And so I'm standing to the side, I'm looking in the middle.
Head level.
And then just a giant man.
Yeah.
And then head level all the way across. Like when Travis Wilson got a drinking ticket at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater.
How'd they catch him? 6'7".
How could they tell?
Long flowing hair.
And what do you know? No wristband.
Yeah.
Why were you at an Eastern European club?
Well, they were all Eastern European clubs when we were 21 years
the
old.
hipsters really like that techno thing.
Yeah.
Why were you there?
Well, Jake was cool.
It was Lumpy's downtown.
Yeah, Jake used to be cool.
I was there.
Or a degenerate, one or the other. Jake was betting on sports.
No, I've never had that problem. I met a bookie at Lumpy's once, speaking of Lumpy's. Guy just sat there taking bets all day. Lumpy's is now defunct, so I feel a little more comfortable talking about it. But I thought, wow, you really do exist.
That was like the only place for a while. And yeah, if you went, there would be jazz players there or there would be college players.
Oh, I saw like Carlos Boozer, CJ Miles, that era. They loved Lumpy's.
There was a little back room, but it wasn't private. It was technically there was a rope, so you couldn't go back there, but everyone could see who was in the back room. It was just like a different area.
Yeah.
And you would always see the jazz.
But to your point, Christian, no, I was not there for the music. Yeah. That was not my
his
reason,
vice.
not my reason for being there. Thus,
Jake too has a taste for women.
Thus, I was not dancing. I was watching Jakob Pertl look really goofy. You know what? Come to think of it, it wasn't Jakob Pertl. Slander. Corrections and retractions.
Was it Luke?
It was Luke Neville.
Yeah.
The one who looked like Beaker from...
also not good looking.
No, it's apologies for the Pertl slander there. No, it was Luke Neville.
Because, Pertl was not that long ago. You would have been like in your early 30s.
Probably not there.
That's why I was really confused. I was
Neville.
like, wait a second.
No, Luke, it was Luke Neville, now that I think about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We did jazz post games from Lumpy's once, all season long. I spent a lot of time at Lumpy's downtown. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fine.
All right, stay tuned.
Bozo of the Week.
Bozo of the Week.
Good nom.
Great nomination coming from Christian. All right, stay tuned. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Sports gambling USC versus UCLA.
Want to remind you, Ethan Millard with Teton Wealth will be live in studio today with Hans and Scotty G to help you with your retirement plan. Tune in or visit retireteton.com. Ben, I know this is a little off-brand, but can I complain?
Please.
And I actually think this is really bad for the sports fan. But we do have a story up at KSLSports.com about this. But ESPN and Fox are teaming up to do a direct-to-customer service. And it's going to cost you, $39.99
$40
per
a month.
Yeah. It's like their ultimate sports package or something or other. I think this is bad for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
One, streaming isn't saving anybody any money. It's not making anything easier. It's an example of something in society that did not get better. It actually got worse with the advent of technology. And at the forefront of it all is the sports fan who is being run through the ringer just to consume their favorite television show, where the bill upon bill upon bill is just stacking up. They've got you by the short hairs, and I find it kind of offensive. But what's particularly problematic about this, Ben, is that the two biggest rivals, the Mouse and Fox, are teaming up together, meaning they are no longer competing with one another in this particular circumstance, which is what keeps prices low. And also is what keeps kind of revenue coming into the sports you love, honestly, if you want to look at it that way. And Fox and ESPN are famously rivals in the college football world. And so I'm not sure what this means for that going forward. But I do know what it means. It's bad for the sports fan all the way around. That $39.99 per month is only going up, and I bet it's only going up fast.
Yes, I think I had the same thought yesterday when I read the story. This is a first-year price. Make everyone get it. Make it seem affordable, and then you jump up the price to $49.99
This is
year two.
Netflix at $8 a month or whatever.
Right, and now it's $23 a month or whatever Netflix is. Which, yeah, I mean, you just add these up, and again, Netflix is getting more and more into the sports world and wants to have the Christmas Day games. Peacock is $11 a month. Amazon Prime's whatever, $11 a month. Just like you are truly it. If you want this, because this is your way to watch it.
If you're an RSL fan, you got to go to Apple.
Yeah.
If you're an MMA guy like Christian now, you've got to go to Paramount Plus.
Right. We're lucky that honestly, the Jazz and NHL, you can watch them for free if you have Channel 14 here locally, but that's not the case for everybody. If you want to watch other NBA games, you have to have, like we said, either Peacock or Prime or just NBA TV. I mean, truly, it's not an exaggeration. You're very easily $90 out the door before you're getting games on your TV.
Because sports is the most popular TV show, because it's the only thing anyone watches live anymore, and because it's now the ultimate marketing vehicle, they just drag fans through the ringer. And by the way, that's just to watch it on television or stream or whatever you choose to do. Let alone what fans now have to do to actually pay to support their colleges or or the price tag on tickets or whatever. But I'll use colleges as the example. Just to get a seat, just to get reserve a seat, Ben, to have the right to buy season tickets. You have to pay how much to the booster clubs? I don't know what the tag is anymore for the Cougar Club or Crimson Club. What's the Aggie one? Anyway, you got to pay thousands of dollars just to those people, just so they say, okay, you have the right to pay $1,000 more or whatever for a couple of seats just to get into the building.
Yep.
Crazy.
I'm with you. It's bad. It's not. It's going to quickly become not unconsumable, but it's going to limit who can watch it.
You know what is great?
And it's weirdly out of touch right now.
You know what is great about baseball? And, I hope baseball comes to this market for a variety of reasons. But what's great about baseball is, one, the gate still really matters. And two, there are so many games that tickets remain affordable. And you can see this by traveling. Travel to any big baseball market. You can get Cubs tickets the day of for a more reasonable price than you would think.
Yeah, of course.
White Sox tickets,
you're giving them away.
Basically giving them away.
Yeah.
But you can go, you can go get Phillies tickets day of, and it's not going to shock you. Or Dodgers tickets or any of those. I've done it. It's not.
No, last year in San Diego, I took a family of 6 to a baseball game, and it wasn't life-changing. You know, it didn't change my month. Because, yeah, it's somewhat affordable.
There are so many games, and there are so many seats to sell. And frankly, that's all gravy to them. The more seats, the more butts they put in it, the more it really impacts the bottom line. And it's a really great sport that way. The problem with baseball is it doesn't translate into TV as well. And so their national TV money sucks.
Yeah.
They're not getting it from that. They're getting it from the gate. The money is still huge. It's just not quite like the NBA is, where it's all coming from TV.
I'll be curious what the subscription numbers on these are. Subscription numbers are always lower than people expect them to be. You know, we talked about the Clippers subscription being fewer than 10,000 people subscribed.
Talk about the wrong franchise to tread into those waters.
Privatize. You're already private. You're the Clippers.
You're the Clippers. Nobody.
You need to be the opposite.
No, yeah, and they're in LA. The only thing they have to sell is their TV market.
Yeah. So.
The Clippers, jeez.
Yeah.
And by the way, open zillion-dollar arena that nobody's going to go to. Weren't they still the last in the league in attendance last year?
Probably, yeah. They had to be close to that. People, again, don't go to Clippers games. Could also give away tickets and people won't go. So I'll be curious to see how this works. ESPN and Fox teaming up. $40 doesn't feel like gouging immediately, but you know, like you said, that number's just going to go up. So we'll see how it works for year one.
I was pretty frustrated by that. And those two companies being on the same page is going to be bad for prices. You want
Agreed.
those two companies competing against one another.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is if they control 90% of college football or college sports in general to watch, they can charge whatever they want. That's the anti-competition there. Now, you know, the advantage here that is that you do get every ESPN channel, right? It's ESPN, it's ESPN2, it's ESPN Plus, it's ESPNU, whatever, ESPN News, all the things that they do. You do get all of them wrapped up. The SEC network, all of those things are included. So if that's what your approach is or that's what you want, you do get it all versus like now the Disney Plus thing that you get, like if you buy Disney Plus with Hulu and ESPN, I think you still only get ESPN Plus, right?
Yeah, you don't get what
ESPN,
goes
the
over
normal
the
channel.
air. No, but the problem is, Ben, is that you still need Amazon for the NFL, and you still need Peacock for the NFL. I mean, ESPN has a lot, but they don't have it all. Now they don't have MMA for Christian and Hans and the people that like to watch that. So it just stacks on top of each other.
Yeah.
And streaming is still so weak as a platform. I mean, all honesty, I'd be curious to talk to, I don't know, Steve Starks or somebody over there with the Millers about their impressions of Major League Soccer going to Apple and whether that's a really good thing or a bad thing. I know the previous regime for RSL really hated it, not because they fell off the sports map, which I think they kind of did, but because the regional television, RSL's regional television was really good. They were making money off that. It was a really good thing, and now all that's gone.
Yeah. As a consumer, you could get on the KSL app, right, and watch it if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So really nice.
Really accessible.
Yeah.
And now it's just not.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's going in the wrong direction.
Because the NBA, if you were to be fully streaming the NBA to watch the national games, you'd have to have this ESPN deal.
Yeah.
You'd have to have
Prime
and Peacock.
And Peacock, yeah.
And then also over the air to get the NBC games and ABC games.
Yeah. The nice thing about the NBA is they have lowered their cost for League Pass. It used to be over $200. Now it's like $110, $115, which is cheaper, but still that's prohibitive for a lot of people. You know, I have to do it for my job, and it makes sense for me to do it. And my fiance is a big basketball fan, so it makes sense for us to do it. But if you're just a casual fan, like forking out $120 is not cheap on top of your Prime membership and everything. So I really do feel for people. It feels particularly out of touch right now.
Yeah, it's just another example of how the fans take it in the shorts because they happen to be fans, you know?
Right,
they
they're
happen to
preying
be
upon
passionate
that.
about the product, you know? And again, this is why sports is the world's greatest product, because people have this connection with sports teams and credit the players with players that goes beyond your usual product consumer relationship. And I'm somebody that is very loyal to the products that I love. Uh-huh. It does not touch to how people feel about their sports teams. I can't believe there are still Jets fans.
Sure.
How are there still Jets fans? How is Kevin Graham dragging his sad backside to the Chili's every weekend to
Can't
watch
wait
the
to
stupid
watch it.
Jets.
Yeah, can't wait to watch it every week.
Bugging the bartender every week that's like, I need the Jets on this one.
Yeah.
And then gets angry and storms out of there.
Mad every week.
Every week. How?
Yeah. It's a great drug.
And you know what? Larry Miller and the Jazz deserve a lot of credit for winning all of those years. And it did spoil the fan base in a lot of ways. When Kevin O'Connor flipped the roster in 2 years to be all of a sudden competitive team again was amazing and never happens. And so I think Jazz fans benefited from a lot of really great decisions and a lot of winning over the years. And I think they have shown patience during the last couple of rebuilds. But the fans, but it's been a different experience.
It has. And you know what? Again, I do credit the Jazz. If you're a fan in the state of Utah, you can watch the team for free.
Yep.
That is a nice plus right now.
That was a big Ryan Smith thing at the beginning, which he was really smart. Because they were going through the whole, it wasn't even Root Sports. What was it, AT&T Sports?
Yeah.
Where they were talking about the regional deal, and it was not on Dish Network, was on DirecTV.
Yes.
Was not on Comcast? Was it only
was on Comcast. It was on Comcast.
It was all this. It was impossible to find the games. And Ryan was like, no. We're going to go the other direction.
Yeah.
We're going to make it unbelievably accessible to as big a swath as the country as we can, and we'll benefit in the long run. I happen to think that's wise.
Right. And he's losing money on that aspect of it compared to what they were getting from the RSN.
But that doesn't exist anymore for anyone not named the Lakers or Knicks.
Right.
So you have to do something else.
Yeah.
So it's a wild world, but streaming has not been good for sports. I don't think.
Completely agree. I use it. I like to be in my kitchen cooking and have it on the iPad. I do that a lot. I really do. I will watch it on the road. In that, the accessibility is a positive, but I think that positive is outweighed by a lot of the negatives, which is it's pretty exorbitantly expensive.
Are you 100% streaming, Christian? Or are you?
No, I hate it. I think it's hard to keep track of what's on where. I think that is a very tiring process.
You have rabbit ears? You have a digital antenna?
No, I mooch off my parents' YouTube TV.
Yeah.
We did YouTube TV for a minute. It was okay.
I've done Fubo. I've done ESPN Plus. I've done the Disney combo. I've done it all. I've got HBO right now so I could watch the playoffs for the NBA. I've got to switch that off, and they've done the thing to me where the playoffs ended 2 months ago, and I just haven't stopped paying for it. So I've got to switch that over to ESPN now. I've got to cancel the HBO one and move it to ESPN so I can watch our local teams play.
By the way, how long until we have to sign contracts with streaming services?
Oh, that you can't
the only
cancel?
thing that streaming really has going for it, in my opinion, is you can cancel it at any time.
Yeah.
But how long until that ends?
I don't think so. I think they make enough money off of people who forget to cancel. I think that's like a part of the whole thing.
Well, if they just have them locked in for 2 years.
I don't know if any company's ever said, I think we make enough money.
Right. Well,
I think we've had enough.
I'm old enough to remember, and this predates Christian getting a Facebook account at 8 years old.
Yeah.
But that.
Which, by the way, it was like 2018. It was not that long ago.
What's his squirrely guy? Who's the Facebook guy?
Zuck.
Yeah. He said, no ads. No ads.
Yeah,
this is
never.
not going to be an ad thing. We're not an ad whatever. This is going to be pure. It can't be cool if it has ads. 10 minutes later,
ads.
You're just drowning in ads.
Yeah.
So I think contracts are coming. You're going to be with Netflix. You're going to opt in for 2 years. Good luck.
It is crazy. I opened up Facebook as you said that. I scrolled 4 stories. 3 of them are ads. It's just, that's all it is. Anyways.
It changes when it gets popular, and they're like, oh, we could squeeze a little more juice out of this berry. Let's. All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week. Sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. Ben, real quick, we're gonna get to a little Utah sound here in a second, but I do have to run this by you. Jeannie Buss got some bad news today. in a roundabout way.
Okay.
Shams tweeted this out. Wyc Grousbeck will no longer stay on as governor as part of the Boston Celtics' $6.1 billion sale to Bill Chisholm. Plan had been for Grousbeck to remain through 2028. Chisholm assumes governor title, and the transfer will be finalized soon.
Recognize this was Wyc's plan. Wyc, who owned the Celtics, and he only owned like a part of it. He wasn't like a Ryan Smith majority owner. He just was the governor in a group of a bunch of people who owned the Celtics. But he just said, when we sell it, I'm going to keep running the team. Which is the same thing Mark Cuban said as well.
Uh-huh.
We're going to sell the Mavericks. Allisons are going to buy it. I'm still going to be the face, though.
Uh-huh.
And everyone seems to think that that's going to work that way.
The buyer always assures, we
don't need it in writing.
Sure. The 2028 sounds great. And then next thing you know, when everybody's not paying attention, it's like, no, that's not going to be the case, actually.
But you're right. This was the news with Jeannie Buss when the Lakers sold to the Dodgers owner.
And he said, sure, Jeannie.
Love to have you.
Yeah, you and Linda are doing a great job. You guys keep it up. The clock is, I will be curious to see how long that lasts.
Weeks?
Because what happens the first time that the new owner disagrees with Jeannie?
Right. The governor actually matters.
That's the final say.
Yeah, you go and you vote in the group of 30 governors, owners, when you are representing expansion, when you're discussing CBA stuff, like all of it. That's the governor's job. That's the governor. Yeah, why would you let somebody who does not own the team anymore have any say in that? Especially if they're not the majority owner. Yeah, that would be insane.
I don't remember. I know that some of the Miller Group did transition. See, that was interesting because Ryan Smith kept on a lot of the previous Jazz
people
when he, not everybody, but like Chris Barney, for example, was, long-time work for the Millers, and he's now the CRO of the Jazz. So a lot of people, and Jim Olsen, of course, the president, long-time worked for the Millers. So that was, and I know Steve Starks for a while stayed around for the transition, but not so much this when Ryan Smith bought the team.
No, and Ryan has been the governor, and Danny Ainge has been the co-governor. When Ryan can't be there, Danny is the guy, or has been the guy.
But
I think Ashley Smith has actually done some of it as well.
But certainly Gail wasn't promised to remain running the team.
No, of course not.
And honestly, I don't think she would have wanted that anyway.
No, but
Jeannie has nothing else.
Yeah, we may just not hear about the buses anymore. We're not going to hear about Wyc Grousbeck.
No, he's gone.
The only reason you know his name is because he was associated with sports. If you live in Boston, you may know his name, but not all that relevant.
I do,
which is why these guys want to hold on forever.
I know, but I do think it's funny that the new this Bill Chisholm guy is like, 2028, sure. Let's get this transaction moving.
Get it over the finish line.
Let's make this happen, and then sure, make it 2030.
I've been in that situation. We're going to get to your contract negotiation first thing. I just have to talk about 9 or 10 other things first. Okay?
All right.
I forgot to bring it up next time. Wyc, next time. I forgot to float it to the rest of the investors. Next time, Wyc, I'll bring it up. Deal's finalized.
So you're out.
Change your passcode. You're gone.
That's the coldest way to do it. Change the passcode.
Yeah.
Hey, why isn't this working?
Yeah. Hard Knocks.
We've got HR on the phone. Uh-huh. Hard Knocks. Is that how they do it in Hard Knocks?
It's the famous scene in Hard Knocks where the guy's badge is no longer working to get into the building. Episode 2 tonight. Colton Chenoweth reminded me. I can't cancel my HBO. I've got to watch Hard Knocks for the next 3 weeks.
You don't.
What am I going to talk about?
And honestly, and we got into this a little bit, the dumpster fire teams are the ones you really want to see. You don't want to see a team.
It should be the Jets every year.
It should be the Jets every year.
Hard Knocks, Jets.
It's
like CSI Miami. It's like just focused exclusively in one area.
Get Liv on the chopper and get him to Jets camp for crying out loud.
I wonder how he feels about that. Again, the voice of God, as they call him, Liv Schreiber, who does the Hard Knocks voice, who's a very famous actor, Ray Donovan, whatever. He flew out in person to meet Aaron Rodgers, and they made a big deal about how he's like, I've never done this. I don't care, but I really wanted to meet you. And it was maybe the most disastrous quarterback situation in NFL history. He played one drive. It was like 3 plays. Tears his Achilles.
The scene of Aaron Rodgers carrying the American flag out.
No, and the Hard Knocks lead up to all of that too, because it was just fluffing.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
The whole show was just the build-up. And the best part was the coaches just crapping on Zach Wilson and then having to go back to Zach Wilson 3 plays into the year or whatever. It was like, oh.
Call him Zach. Zach, are you ready?
Zach's watching from home like, guys, come on. Come on.
It'd be funny if Isaac Wilson has to take some snaps this year.
Oh, man. I feel bad. I still feel bad for Zach Wilson.
Oh, that was horrible.
Just horrible.
Yeah. The
wow,
two funny
sure
things,
nice to have a decent quarterback in the building for once.
The two funniest things that could happen is A, Zach lights it up this year if Tua gets hurt and plays great in Miami. Or B, Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh and they become a Super Bowl contender. He just still has it.
And the Jets just...
The Jets are just the Jets. Yeah, Jets aren't going to be good.
I don't think... I don't know. I don't see the Steelers going anywhere.
Yeah, probably not, but probably better than the Jets.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody's better than the Jets. What do you mean probably? Again, it comes back to how does Kevin Graham remain a Jets fan?
Who's the Jets quarterback now? Is it Justin Fields? Didn't he break his foot already? He had a foot injury in the offseason? Maybe I'm wrong.
I think he's back.
He's back, okay. Well, we'll see if Justin...
Oh, he's going to be great, I'm sure. He's going to win them 2s of games.
1s and 2s of games.
1s and 2s of games. All right. We were going to talk Utah football here. Let's play a clip. The receivers are certainly one of the things that we are unsure about going into this college football season at the University of Utah. And here's Kyle Whittingham talking about it.
That group is coming along. We feel like we've identified the top 7 or 8 guys that are going to be the travelers, and that we're going to sink all the reps into the rest of the way. So that group is really starting to gel, I guess you could say.
Because we have not seen Utah's offense, and we don't know actually what it looks like and how they're going to execute it, and while we can go back to New Mexico as a reference point, it will inevitably change, though several important names are still here. You know, Bronco and New Mexico did not have this offensive line that Utah has, so there's going to be some variations and bodies are different. But with that in mind, what does Utah need from the wide receivers? Truthfully, and I don't just mean downfield blocking, which is what they need. But I mean, do you need one guy to just be a threat? Because honestly, when Dalton Kincaid was just a bit of a threat for Utah, or Utah had a tight end threat, Thomas Yasmin was able to do it for stretches. We know Brant Keithy was able to do it. Is it just one guy? Do you just need one guy who's a threat for Utah? Just to open everything up a little bit?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I don't know. They've gone a long way without really having a guy.
For a really long time.
For a really long time.
But Dalton Kincaid was terrific.
Yeah, he was good.
He was really good.
Keithy
it was a
good.
very reliable guy. Keithy was a very reliable player.
But, I don't know. Did that do anything for the run game? Did the run game do it for that? I mean, is it correlated, I guess, is really what I'm asking. I mean, honestly, if the other team loads the box with 8 or 9 players or whatever, really goes after it, you got to have somebody who can get behind it. Sure, that would be nice. But I don't know if they have Randy Moss.
I know they don't have Randy Moss.
And I don't know if they have a quarterback that can throw.
Even if they did.
Enough to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But that's not really what the spread option offense is necessarily designed for. But, I mean, yeah, if they had that, sure, that'd be nice. I see the encouraging part about it, if you're looking for that sort of thing, is they've got some guys with some size.
They do, yeah.
And so if you get some size down the field and throw it up to them, I mean, think Kenneth Scott, who is not the world's fastest receiver.
Merriweather, I think, is 6'5", 200 pounds.
Yeah, but he could get down the field and he could throw the ball up. Yeah. And if he didn't make the play, it was probably going to be a flag because he was so big, the 5'9" corner couldn't really do anything about it. So, there's more than one way to shuck a peanut.
Mm-hmm. Not really. There's only a couple ways to do it.
Skinning a cat is such a gross saying.
There's really only one way to shuck a peanut. Unless you just eat the whole thing.
Well, you could use a nutcracker. You could use the lobster crackers.
Bring a nutcracker to Texas Roadhouse to shuck the peanuts.
You'd get looks.
You would get looks. What are you bringing that for? Crab? No, I'm shucking peanuts at Texas Roadhouse.
What? That would be not normal?
Extremely not normal. You know, a lot of people have bottle openers on their keychain. You have
A clock cracker.
Chucker. So Utah,
You never know.
I do think Utah needs to identify a guy, and it doesn't need to be 3 or 4 guys or 7 guys like Whit's saying. And I get that you're going to have 7 guys in the rotation and step out there and play. Some of those guys are going to have 8 catches on the season, for 108 yards maybe, and that would be some big play guys. But I do think you need to have, one person who can at least pretend to be a deep threat. And like you're saying, you didn't even say take the top off, but somebody who can do that because that does open up the offense. And then, yes, reliably somebody when they stack the box, which is going to be over and over and over, whether it's a tight end or Merriweather as a big pass catcher, who can at least be a threat to move the chains.
Or can catch a slant on 3rd and 5.
Yep.
And that's honestly what Dalton Kincaid and Brant Keithy were really good at, was catching a slant on 3rd and 5 and then making the most out of it.
And then Dampier's got to be able to hit those timing routes.
So,
it's just, I know where he's going to be. I know he's going to be open. This guy is reliable, catching the ball, and keeps the play alive.
I notoriously teased you. Who was it that I told you wasn't going to get to 200 yards passing? And they got
Bryson
to
Barnes?
Was it Bryson Barnes who I said was not going to get to 200 yards passing, and he got to like 185 in the first half, and then didn't complete a pass for the rest of the game.
Like a 70-yard catch right out of the gates?
In order for Utah to be successful, what do you think his average yards per game needs to be? Passing.
Dampier?
Yeah.
Over 200. If you want to win the conference.
Yeah, probably.
I just don't think
that's a really low bar.
Yeah, but I think he can. I think Utah's going to really be able
What
to
about
move the ball on the
total
ground.
yards?
Well, I mean, that would assume he's playing every game. So, he's got to be over 25.
No, like total yards per game.
With his rushing as well? I mean, that's only like 280 for him. He's not going to rush for 100 yards a game.
He'll have a 100-yard game.
Oh, yeah, he'll probably have a 160-yard game. He should also have some games, I would hope, that he has 40. Because you don't need him. Last year, let's see if we can find his per-game average. Passing, let's see, what do you have total yards? He had 2,700 passing yards last year. Played 13 games. So, right there, about 200. Right? 2,600 would be exactly 200 at 13 games. Oh, he only played 12 games, excuse me. So, he's a little over 200 a game. Maybe
he only actually broke
230.
200 in 6 games.
Okay. He had 200. He had 230 yards per game last year. If he does that, that's fine.
But what's interesting is Jason Beck admitted that he thought New Mexico, not he, but they thought New Mexico was going to be a passing team last year. Mm-hmm. And then after the first few games, they said, nope, that's not the case.
And then he had 1,100 rushing yards. So he was right under 100 yards a game.
Right.
So, I mean, that would be 330. That's a lot. If he could get to 330, Utah would be just fine. Because I think they're going to have 2 running backs that we talked about, Rodgers and Wayshawn Parker, that probably average 185 to 200 yards a game total combined. I mean, that's between those 2 guys, it's 500 yards of offense almost.
Let me ask you this about Jeannie Buss. Do you think, like we had a coworker once who was an on-site engineer who was asked to do something unreasonable by the on-air person, and he just disappeared around the corner and waited a couple of minutes and then came back and said he couldn't do that?
Couldn't do it.
I couldn't. So do you think that they just have Jeannie have an assistant and they say, whatever she tells you to do, you just sit there to yourself for about 10, 15 minutes and you get back to her and say, I can't do that.
Go sit in the car.
We couldn't do that. Yeah, just be like,
and then come
okay,
back.
I'm right on that.
Yeah. Like, I put some calls in, I will let you know, and inevitably they're going to forget for the next thing. So it's like, just keep it. Just keep the scheme going.
The phone cord in her office is connected to nothing.
Yeah. It's tucked in a drawer.
Hey, trade LeBron. And there's nobody on the other end.
Uh-huh.
That story about Mark is pretty funny.
It's like holding up your phone pretending to be on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Jeannie doesn't know
But Jeannie has no idea. Jeannie thinks she's still doing the thing.
Giving your little brother the unplugged controller and be like, you're playing Mortal Kombat with us.
You're great.
You're really good at this.
Have you been practicing?
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. We'll wrap up the show next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airways, talking sports. They got him Matrix and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my.
Jacob Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Listen, do you have a product out there you're passionate about and would like to have it endorsed by the Jake and Ben Show? It's very simple.
Sponsor the show!
Very simple. All you have to do is text JB to 57500 and our sales staff will take care of the rest. Again, JB to 57500 and you could
Sponsor the show!
You sure could.
We have another Bozo of the Week nominee. A guy who I'm growing increasingly suspicious of. Because he has otherwise seemingly such a golden reputation, but a couple of now very notable, questionable interactions.
Very notable.
LA Dodgers two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani is being sued by a Hawaii real estate investor and broker, which, by the way, we've talked about a little bit, is always a weird thing. People wanting to develop Hawaii seems like one of the dirtier business ventures that exists.
It is not popular with the locals.
It's not popular with the locals. You have to be really tough. There's movies about it. Oprah's gotten involved.
Oprah's not opening her door.
People wanted to buy up the land after the huge fire, et cetera, et cetera.
The tsunami's coming and Oprah's like, nah, we're going to leave that thing shut.
According to the lawsuit filed in the Hawaii Circuit Court on Friday, Ohtani's agent, Nez Balelo, increasingly demanded concessions from a developer, Kevin J. Hayes Sr., and real estate broker, Tomoko Matsumoto, before demanding that their business partner, Kingsbury Realty Capital, drop them from the deal. Essentially, they are using Shohei's celebrity to try and push people out of some of these either opportunities or developments to get it built their way. The suit accuses Ohtani and Balelo of tortious interference and unjust enrichment. Hayes, a developer with 40 years' experience, and Matsumoto, who was the listing agent for the houses averaging $17 million each, say that Ohtani and Balelo also tried to undermine their interest in a second neighboring venture. Kind of worried this guy, Ohtani's using all the people around him to strong arm some people.
Yeah, we'll see how this settles out in court, but Ohtani in these situations, because he's bringing nothing to the table other than his presence. Mm-hmm. If you look into it, he's not investing in it. He's not doing anything other than you can tell people that I am involved. I almost got. Did I tell you about this when I went to Cabo? We got lured to a golf course that was a what do they call that? A timeshare, and I didn't know that it was a timeshare until we got there, and so I demanded that they take us somewhere else. But they were using Tiger left and right. They had it was Tiger's thing in Cabo, and I'm sure Tiger didn't do a dang thing other than just take a cut of the pie so they could use his name while they're shaking down naive people like myself.
Ohtani will act as the celebrity spokesperson for this project and has committed to purchasing one of the 14 residents within the project. He also intends to spend significant time at the Vista in the offseason and will construct a small hitting and pitching facility for the preseason training. So he gets a really sweet deal on the $17 million home to get other people to buy these houses at a, inflated cost, but a high cost. And they can say, we live in the same development as Shohei.
It's like you in your neighborhood.
Correct. Exactly right.
Where your mere presence makes the value
But
go
the
up.
opposite is brought. All the value has gone down in Mill Creek everywhere.
Everybody's like, Ben Anderson lives down the road.
Stagflation. Ben problem.
Big money.
Shohei does this, and now Shohei is trying to get other things done. And
He didn't like these other
he didn't
two
like
bozos.
these dudes who were pushing back against him, so now he's trying to use his celebrity to get them fired. I don't know, Shohei. Shohei's, Venmo, like agent business gambling, whatever he was betting
Does
on.
this beat out Sports gambling.
Lakers,
UCLA versus USC.
Mateer Shohei, though. Early, it's only Tuesday. We got a couple after a kind of a light week last week.
I saw this joke online, but the Oklahoma guy should have blamed it on his translator.
Yeah, absolutely.
That wasn't me.
I don't handle my Venmo. You already pinned your Venmo on your wife. It's great. You did it right away. You went Urban Meyer immediately. Yeah, it was the old lady.
Do you think I could operate a Venmo account?
No. Jake accidentally spent $48,000 on Venmo.
That could
Jake
happen.
accidentally cashed out the 401k.
That could happen. That's what I'm
Hal,
saying.
Timeshare. Didn't know he was in a timeshare. And they said, give me your Venmo password. Jake was like, that must be a normal thing.
I can't.
The description says timeshare, Cabo.
Sure.
Tiger Woods, Cabo.
Tiger's Cabo.
I cannot believe I told that story because it really is embarrassing. The fact that I got all the way to the resort without knowing
Yeah.
like
You were getting
they were
timeshared.
going to timeshare me as soon as I got there was really
That's a toughie.
I was really embarrassed.
Hey, you know what? I was I went and saw a movie last night with a group of people, and I texted them that I was parking, and everyone said, looks like you're at the wrong theater. So I did that last night. So we all make mistakes.
You showed up at the wrong
We
theater?
did the wrong theater. The other one I was meant to be at Century Sandy. Century 16 Sandy. I went to Century 16 Salt Lake. I didn't know they had the
Did you
same
miss
name.
any of the movie?
Opening 45 seconds. State Street really did me some favors with some green lights, so I made it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Luckily, they start like 20 minutes
Yeah,
after
that's
the
exactly
listed
right. I
showtime.
showed up at the showtime when it was exactly supposed to start thinking I'll have 20 minutes to get popcorn and watch some trailers, and it allowed me to get to Sandy. So
What'd you see?
Weapons.
Any good?
Very good, yeah.
Who's in it?
Julia Garner.
Is that James Garner's
Josh Brolin.
ex-wife?
I don't think so.
Josh Brolin, the guy who played W?
Yeah. His kids go missing. His kid goes missing. It's great. It's very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Hanson Scotty G, you're coming on
Other than the
next.
first 45 seconds I missed, I had no idea what happened then.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. The
Thanks,
Jake
Christian.
and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.